SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko is today attending the Presidential Golf Day at the Atlantic Golf Club in Cape Town. The purpose of the day is to raise funds for charities designated by the President while simultaneously facilitating an opportunity for networking. The Presidential Golf Day forms part of the State of the Nation Address activities. And let's cross live to him now. Samkele, a very long day yesterday and you're up early today.
Yes, indeed, a very long day yesterday, and the president is here playing golf. You can see him alongside the General Bantu Holomisa. The president has just teed off now. Sorry for that shot of Almond getting into our shot. You can see the president alongside business people and also the leader of the opposition, Bantu General Holomisa, here at Golf Day. They are trying to raise funds for the poor. How are you, President? How are you?
Yes, your favorite. How are you?
Are you not stressed?
You want a scoop?
Yes, I want a scoop. They want to get rid of. They want to get rid of it. That is the president, alongside General Bantu Holomisa and also the Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation and relevant business people who are here to raise funds for the needy and especially for the children who rely on the Cyril Ramaphosa Foundation, particularly when they work in provinces such as the Free State province with Kagiso Trust as well within that particular province, and other students who are particularly needy and South Africans whom his foundation provides some relief for. He was also saying that speaking at the State of the Nation address yesterday evening, speaking about the need of a new social compact in the country, and that the next 100 days will be used to come up with that social economic relief package for South Africans whom are needy, and that business can't be as usual going forward, and that the deepening economic crisis needs new interventions in the country in order to be their economic growth in the country, and also that the government does not create jobs. Government creates a conducive environment for the private sector to create those much needed jobs here in the country. So these are some of the initiatives that the president, working with other international companies, for instance, he spoke about how economic growth came about in China and how they will be working with the Chinese going forward as well to try and foster growth. Spoke about the importance of South Africa's rail infrastructure working as well, and that the municipalities need to be functional. He's also, as you can see with those visuals, we've got the Minister of Communications as well, Kumbuzo Nchabeni, as well next to the president. She's been implicated in allegations of state capture in the second part of Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo's State Capture Commission report, which implicates her in wrongdoing at a state arms company, Danel, where she used to be there as well. Yes, so those are some of the issues that the state is facing. We are going to try and go to the president.
No, somehow my finger got injured, so I'm not able to play. So I'm off to see a doctor and get x-rayed. And I was looking forward to playing with you.
Is it stress related?
No. It's not stress related. No. After last night, the stress, whatever stress there was, is gone.
Before the speech, Mr. President?
Well, you have to prepare. I mean, speech, a State of the Nation address is a serious matter because you are talking to the entire nation. You've got millions of people watching and listening to what the government has in store for the next year, the following year, or the current year. So you've got to apply your mind. You've got to think issues through. And whatever we announce, we've got to know that it's doable, implementable. So it takes time to prepare for a State of the Nation address.
Mr. President, have you filed your responding affidavit to SCOPA, particularly being taken there by your own caucus member of Parliament, Mervyn Dix?
Well, I signed the letter. I don't know where it is now. So I signed it, and it must be somewhere in the pipeline. These things take a long time to happen because there's a pipeline and there's a chain of things that need to happen.
So you've responded, sir?
I've signed a letter, yes.
Mr. President, yesterday you conceded that the security cluster in the government was caught napping again for the July unrest.
What I want to do for you,
Mr. President?
I am going to spend time with you on Tuesday in a proper sit-down interview. So today, let's just concentrate on the wonderful day it is. Golfers are here, and they don't want to hear politics.
On
Tuesday, I'll have enough time to sit down with all of you and we discuss these matters. And you can ask me any question.
The benefits of this event, Mr. President, at least touch on that.
Well, the benefits of this event go to the Cyril Ramaphosa Foundation. As you know, every president in the past has chosen a charity to which the contributions of the day would go to. So we've got golfers here, about 120, as well as sponsors who have sponsored the event. And we'll have a wonderful evening when we give prizes. But whatever proceeds that go beyond the expenses will then go to the Cyril Ramaphosa Foundation, which focuses on education and also focuses on business development. So it's got 3 arms. It gives bursaries to young people. It also focuses on adopting schools. We've got a number of schools that we've adopted over, I think, a 15-year period, and which also focuses on small business, developing business through the Black Umbrellas entity. So the proceeds here fund those programs, and it's a wonderful charity that we support, which I've been associated with for many years. I originated all of the entities really. So I'm rather glad to participate in this today because it's a charitable day.
Are you happy that they didn't try burn the city hall with you there yesterday?
Am I happy with?
Are you happy that they didn't try burn the city hall yesterday with you there, just like they burnt Parliament?
Well, I'm happy that our public institutions are kept intact. They are not burnt. It's unfortunate that there are people who are bent on destroying public infrastructure, and we still need to fathom why they are doing things like that. So I'm happy that we had a wonderful State of the Nation occasion yesterday, and I look forward to the debate. And I will see you on Tuesday when I'll be talking to all of you. So get ready with your questions, and I have questions for you as well.
You can start now, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kehlas Tole is looking for you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you.
That the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, they're speaking about the burning of public infrastructure, and that he will be ready on Tuesday to answer those questions, where our political editor, Mr. Mzwandile Mbeche, will be at that press briefing, the State of the Nation address that will be held on Monday by the president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa. I am going to try and bring in our political editor, Mzwandile Mbeche, as well here, who is going to speak essentially about on the president's responses here. Mr. Mbeche, just in essence, what the president had to say about the burning of infrastructure, and as well as some of the points of the state capture report, and as well some in the State of the Nation address yesterday, particularly around the state security agencies.
Yeah, I think basically the point I think he was trying to make was that the institutions are strong, even though there are difficulties here and there. The institutions are strong. That is why even when the parliament was banned, so he was still able to perform his duties. And of course, as you have said, on Tuesday he has a sit down with the rest of us where the media will be granted the opportunity to speak to him about a number of issues. Some of the questions that you already raised today.
We raised the issue about his response to Scopa with that leaked recording of him saying state resources were used unduly by some to fight factional battles in his own party, saying he's already signed the letter and it's somewhere within the value chain going back to Scopa.
Interestingly, the deadline was yesterday. So if he has signed the letter, the question is, has the letter reached the destination where it's supposed to go to? And of course, it will perhaps to do with the officials. So how has it been done? But of course, in the event of the scoper would have expected the response by yesterday. And I guess the fact that he said he has signed it so suggests that indeed he may have met the deadline.
What does that say about the internal issues within his own party, and particularly within the ANC caucus in Parliament? You've got some who are sympathetic towards Mervyn Dix, who raised this issue, who is an ANC member of caucus, who is currently suspended. And there are some who are saying that he should essentially be disciplined for going against the party line.
Well, it is actually exposing the fissures that you and I and everyone else have been speaking about. That as much as the ANC tries to say they are united, the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of divisions, there's a lot of factionalism. In fact, panel report that about points to that. It basically says the reason why we went the route we went is because of the problems in the ANC. So what you see now, that what Mervyn Dix did is a manifestation of the difficulties that are being experienced by the governing party, which then pose the big question as we head to the elective conference. Right now is the build-up. We're just 9 months away from the conference. Will the state be able to hold on, given that the fight is going to intensify?
When you look at his State of the Nation address, particularly around the economic prospects of the country, he was very clear and bold yesterday in saying government does not create jobs. The private sector creates those jobs. Government's role is to create a conducive environment for job creation. When you look at the factional battles within his own party, you've got the Democratic Alliance leader John Steenhuisen welcoming the State of the Nation address, saying it's literally being taken from the DA blueprint. Will this put him up against his detractors in the governing party, and will that hamper the country's economic growth trajectory?
In fact, if you listen to what the DA responded, the DA basically said, so well, he lifted off what we've always been saying. And then look at the third biggest party, the EFF, basically said he came and said nothing. So the EFF has always said it would rather align itself with the so-called RETs. And then given that they came out and said he said nothing, and then the DA said he said exactly what we want, is actually the indication that the divisions are even deeper. So for me, it will be very interesting to see how the ANC will manage these contradictions going to the 2022 elective conference, because these are the issues. In fact, this is at the core of what divides the ANC. There are those who feel the ANC must be a bit more moderate, and there are those who are saying we need radical economic transformation. So how do you reconcile that? That is why within the ANC there are those very sympathetic to the EFF, and perhaps those who may be somehow aligned to the DA, though they would not say it. So these are the things that the ANC will have to contend with, and unfortunately these are the things that make it very difficult for the governing party to perform some of its duties, hence the collapse of infrastructure in so many areas and municipalities.
Our colleague Bulelani Phillips yesterday asked a direct question to the Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, on the Police Commissioner, Kehla Sithole. He's nowhere near the minister. The minister says he's in fact working with deputies, yes. And we should ask Kehla Sithole why he's next to the minister. Would he be the first person to fall, particularly on the security cluster and taking accountability for the July unrest?
The president said we accept responsibility as cabinet, and then as part of accepting that responsibility, you are going to see changes in the security cluster. So clearly you can see that Kehla Sithole is a goner. And of course, not only him, so there will be a number of changes because the country failed, the security failed. So as matters stand, I'm afraid if there were to be someone who will be bold enough to launch an attack, I'm afraid if we'll be able to pick that up as intelligence or security services. So if nothing is done, and interestingly, he has taken the intelligence, the president, under the presidency. Of course, we know that a few weeks ago, he decided to assign that responsibility to the minister in the presidency, Mondli Kungubele. But that tells you about the worry. So the head of state realizes that, you know what, so if I don't have this thing under control, we may be in trouble. I would rather have it much close and personal so that I'm able to deal with it.
Just on this point, I want to bring again on the response to Scopa. His response, I've signed the letter. as if it's just a by-the-way issue. It's a sideshow, not going into detail and to the meat and to the crux of it on the content of his response.
Well, saying I have signed the letter, I guess wants to say I've complied with the constitutional requirements. Remember, I mean, if he were to disregard that, can you imagine the head of state being requested to do something and then he is the one who disregards it? So I think the point is to say, well, I have done what I'm supposed to do. But clearly, the SCOPA, I think, should be able to then indicate. We need to find out from SCOPA, has that letter been received? Because the president on his party said he has signed the letter. Has it been delivered? So I guess maybe we'll give it a benefit of the doubt. The letter probably has been signed. But then again, it talks to the divisions within the governing party, because here is someone, the president of the party, having now to deal with the issues raised by his own member who actually wanted him to account. And that member, as we speak today, is suspended.
In fact, yesterday, Mkhuleko Hlenga, the chairperson of SCOPA, said, Samkele, I know what you want to speak about. I'm not going to give you that, referring to the very same issues on SCOPA. I wonder what he's going to do today when we go chasing him around the city of Cape Town. Do you expect him to give us a response, or do you expect him to go into hibernation?
No, he probably would give a response. I think the president has made it easier for them to respond, because if the president that says, I've signed the letter, so it means you guys have got the letter, so he will have to tell us that he's got the letter or he hasn't got the letter. Can you imagine if he were to say there's no letter that we would have got? It will actually create an even bigger story. So we'll wait and see.
Well, Mkhuleko Hlenga, it's now up to you. The ball is in your court. It's been kicked to you. It's your play now to tell us, have you received that letter indeed of response from President Ramaphosa on the allegations brought to you by his own caucus member who's been suspended and others supporting Mervyn Dix on his call for the president to account and to give tangible proof of those who used state resources to fight internal battles within the governing party?